Back, everybody. Wow, we had a amazing week two of games. I remember looking at that slate, Kevin, thinking to myself, this is going to be a get right game after the competition we had in week one. But no, that was excitement from start to finish.
There was only one ranked matchup, but all of the games delivered,
Yeah,
minus the
man.
Hokies Vanderbilt. Ooh, that one sucked,
That,
but we're not here to talk about
no,
that.
we're not. We're not. But we do have some exciting recaps we got to go over, and we've kind of illustrated them in this title page here. As we all know, Florida fans. They are sad, sad boys down there in Gainesville today, Kev. I'll tell you what.
It was tough, but man, USF.
That
Woo.
our swan song team.
I
We're
know.
gonna be people are gonna look back at us this season and be like, there's only one like team that has been talking about them consistently every week. You and me, my friend.
Yes, sir. They got Miami next week.
That dude, and it's like I said, they have it. They're gonna be ranked, I think, after
They
this week.
should
They
be,
should
yeah.
be. They 100% should be. And
On the road.
the one thing I noticed a lot about their play is they were not making like nice, flashy, like long play drives against Florida. Like I felt like every time I glanced at the TV, because I had like my multi-view going and all that. But every time I looked over, I saw Florida making a big play, and I was like, oh, they're about to score. But then no, just USF did its job and was just steadily putting pressure on them throughout the whole game.
Very much bend, don't break.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and I don't think Florida was ready for it, and it shows.
No, and then let's see. We also had Mississippi State getting the big win. That was
Oh,
one we were tempted to do money line, but we had Mississippi State covering, which they did, and more. And then
Starkville's electric.
yeah,
Oh man,
it's a great town to have been there
and
for a landscaping
yeah, and
competition.
for a landscaping competition. Hey, that counts.
Yeah.
I'd imagine the people in Starkville go nuts for.
Oh
like,
yeah.
But also heard on a podcast this morning. This is the first time you'll ever hear me say, "Damn, I wish I was in Starkville, Mississippi last night."
And then let's see, last but not least, Florida State continued rolling. I think they put up
Oh,
like
did they?
77 maybe. They just killed some team.
Yeah, well, talking about killing teams. I know we don't have a image to depict this, but
We'll get into it.
Laura, we're talking about that game later.
Yeah, that was one of the games we picked.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, let's go. What
All
am I
right.
doing?
So we also have just a little bit more sad. And then also, yeah, Michigan didn't quite get it done
No,
on
they
the
did not,
road.
man.
I'm sorry.
Man, I was talking about. We were talking about Bryce Underwood as a sleepy Heisman contender. He looked like crap.
That game was
yesterday.
Ohio State, Texas
Yeah.
2.0, really.
Yeah, it really was. The kid threw 24 times. He had 9 completions. Yeah, it was that bad.
Yeah.
But
All right, so now let's get into these were the games. Forgot to put the checks and minuses in. But
coincidentally, I wonder why that is.
but we're just overall, I believe Tyler, he went 6-2 in his 7-2 if you count the nope, 6-2 if you count the numbers on the
Good
next
jump in
slide.
there, big guy.
I went 6-4. You know how it goes.
From week
Yeah.
one, we did. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think doing my totals. I am now at, I believe, 11-10, so just over that 50% mark. It's a
I'm
big place to
6-4.
be.
I must be just below it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. A little bit
And
behind me.
yeah, so just going through, we kind of already touched on Oregon beating the brakes off
Oh my
Oklahoma
God.
State.
That
What was the final score?
I know it's 69-3. Yeah. Funny score. But yeah, man, that was Gundy has to retire after the season after that, right?
I think so.
But it's like, they shake hands and they're like, "Hey, thank you for your time here." Not like Bill Napier, who they're gonna like kick him out the door and be like, "Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, no, we're done with you.
Gundy
We don't want to play with you
Oklahoma
anymore."
State exciting for a
Yep,
while.
yeah.
Then we had also Ole Miss and Kentucky. We got this one wrong. I got the over right.
We
It was
supposed to
30 to
have-
23.
Yeah.
Allegedly, Kentucky scored at the very end to give me the over, but to cost us on the covering for Ole Miss.
Okay, we already brought this up, but Lane Kiffin is on my beat list because of the fact that at the end of the game, after they failed to stop Kentucky, and Kentucky came and did that backdoor cover with literally the last 10 seconds, and then after the game, Lane Kiffin goes, "Yeah, wish we could have stopped them. Sorry to all the gamblers out there." Like, the man knew what the spread was in his head. Like, come on, dude. You didn't have to say that. Public enemy number one. Ugh.
Let's see, and then I think we already got into these last three games, so we'll go to our vibe check parlay slide here. All right, so we're gonna just ignore the takes we have to make again in week 8 because Hokies will bounce back.
No, hold on. You can ignore your take. I'm still feeling comfortable about Georgia Tech. They did.
Beat Wofford or something.
Yeah, it wasn't a good team, but yeah, hey, look, Clemson struggled against Troy. Let's not forget that. Okay, what? And then the other thing I loved about this is kind of me stepping back, Kev. The thing I loved about this week in general was it kind of blew open the doors where you're looking at some of the top 10 teams, but then like the back 10 teams of the top 20. I can't comfortably tell you who I think is my top 5 after these first 2 weeks. That's, I think a lot of people would say like Oregon, Ohio State, probably LSU. But even watching those teams live, I'm not like getting like the fired up feeling, so to speak. I am with USF, but that's because they're our baby.
It does seem like it'll be a much more competitive college football playoff this year. Yeah. So that's very exciting.
Everybody's starting to adapt to the new system. It's going to be cool to watch.
Right. Let's see. I think you got.
Oh yeah, I'll talk about. My parlays. And I did pick Michigan State money line just because you took my Iowa State money line. I didn't want us to double up there.
Good thing you did. Iowa State didn't cover. They won by 3.
No, but the money line, yes. So that was also a fantastic game. Unders when the spreads are that close. Like I said, that was a 13-16 game, I believe. By the end, yes, it was. And then I have to talk about my last leg here, Syracuse. Just covering my alternate spread in a overtime at the very end against UConn of all teams.
They were about 3. UConn tied it, and then they won it.
Yeah.
You get it done.
I think we also have this curse where we're going to talk like great things about a team like we did with Syracuse, we did with Michigan, and they both just got dog walked in the second week. So maybe unless you're a USF Bull, then you're just not going to like us talking good things about you.
Well, we did pick against USF in week 1.
We did. So, well, I think everybody did.
Yeah, we're 1-on-1 on the Bulls. But, my parlay didn't quite go according to plan. SMU failed to beat Baylor. I think they've dropped 17 or 18 in a row against them. Went into double overtime. It was a great game.
That dog fight, yeah.
Illinois did cover. They whooped up on aristocrats down in Durham.
That game was competitive to start. Then they kind of started to run away with it in the second half, if memory serves. But
I will say, Nasruddin Imavov did beat Kyle Berhalio, but he did not finish him.
You're talking about the
rather boring unanimous decision.
Okay.
So. Anyhow, there's one more. I can't remember what this last slide is.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah. No. Look, here's the thing, Kev. I very rarely have this good at gambling weeks, and I'm going to relish in this. I am the queen of everything right now, as we see here. That is not Taylor Swift, for everybody who's wondering. That is, in fact, Mariah Carey, yes, the Christmas song woman. But yeah, so currently I am ahead by just a smidge, I think. But what really matters, I think, going forward is how these future takes play out. So I feel more comfortable about mine, but we'll see how we go.
We'll see. All right, folks, we will join you guys next week with a new slate of games. So tune in. Thank you guys for your viewership and your loyal fan base.
Happy gambling.
Peace.